Morning.
Good morning, everyone. This is Dave joining.
Hi, Dave.
Okay, there we are.
Stephanie, Dave again. I'm here, but for some reason not showing up on video. So I'll just leave well enough alone, and I'll be here.
Yeah, I was kind of appreciate the times I don't have to look at my face on video. So.
Good morning.
So we have them on the screen, and they're also loaded on diligent if you want to use.
Good morning, EPC.
Good morning.
It's Lynn.
Hey, Lynn. Good morning.
How's everybody?
We're great. How about you?
I'm good. I'm gonna leave the heat Friday and go to the humidity in Alabama.
Oh,
Oh my
Lord.
goodness.
the heat and Alabama, heat and
Yeah.
humidity.
I get everything. Well, I just want everybody to know I'm actually here, and I'm gonna stop my video because I am going to be the official secretary today. So focus on my notes. Okay.
Thank you.
Uh-huh.
Is Dale here today?
Of course. Well, we still have 4 minutes.
Well, good morning, all. I would like to remind you that as of this moment, we are recording. So please have no comments until the meeting actually gets started here in about 3 minutes.
No comments other than good mornings.
Yes, good morning, and a beautiful morning it is before apparently it gets warm.
Well, if I could just make a statement here before we officially start, because it's unrelated. Last night at 2:30, Sacramento passed keeping Diablo Canyon open for another 5 years to 2030, 67-3, a campaign I've been working on for 18 months. And it was a long night, but we have a great victory for California.
Well,
Okay.
Congratulations.
Enough political stuff. Thank you. We'll have electricity to charge our cars. And apparently we don't, because I just also got a note that California doesn't want us to charge our cars this weekend.
Dale, is it okay to say I'm going to take notes today for the minutes?
Yes, and that is absolutely fabulous, Lynn, and I really appreciate you stepping up to do that.
You're welcome. Okay.
And there was a request by Larry to have the captioning go on, and I enabled that, so you're actually seeing the live transcript.
Wow.
Thank you.
I don't see it.
It's in the participants.
It says it's been enabled, but
Mine's running across the bottom of the screen, bud.
mine's not. Huh. Who can see it?
Down at the bottom where it says CC live transcript.
It's across the top. It says it has live transcript. And then it says, who is seeing the transcript?
Yeah, you have to enable it at the bottom on your screen.
Right, just click on CC.
I don't see
And at the
CC.
top, it says view subscript there. It says, show subtitle. If you click on CC,
Oh, that one.
yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
Let's roll, Dale.
Yep, it is now 8:01. We're going to call the meeting to order. Let's do a roll call. I am here. Lynn Eisberg is here. Marianne, are you there? Okay, we'll watch to see if Marianne shows up. Chris, I see you.
There
Are
I
you
am.
there? Great, thank you. Ray, I see you. Jerry, I think is traveling. I don't see Jerry. Vic, is he on? Not yet. Craig Taylor, I don't see Craig. Bud, I know you're there. Rob Young, I see you. And Dave Howes, I don't see Dave. Okay, so Lynn, if you could watch if any of those people do who aren't here pop on, please add them to our agenda.
Okay,
Hey, Dale, just a point of reference here on the agenda page that we received from the town. Dave House's name is not listed as a member, so it should be corrected.
Yes, I already let
Okay.
Melissa know that. I was going to apologize for that in the oral comments. First of all, are there any oral comments from anybody in the audience about something that is not on the agenda?
Do we have a quorum, Dale?
Yeah.
Yes, we do.
And Dave Howell just come on too.
Oh, great. Okay. Yeah, we have a quorum. We have 6.
Okay, great.
And Dave House just came on. Dave, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me?
We can hear you great. Thank you. Thank you for coming.
Yeah.
Okay, on oral communications, having none from the public, I've got a couple. One, I'm apologizing to Dave House because your name was left off the member list up on the upper right corner. I've let Melissa Thurman. They've changed the format just so people know on how I do agendas. So they send me this template and I've got to paste things into it. And I corrected it last time and somehow I couldn't do it this time. So anyway, we will fix that in the future, Dave. So I apologize.
No problem.
Next, on oral communications, tomorrow morning, starting at 7:30 to 8:30, the town is hosting a back to school event in Triangle Park. And I got a notice, I think Wednesday, asking if we wanted to send somebody. I volunteered. I will go down there at 7:30 and do a meet and greet with parents and students. If anybody else would like to join me, that's fine. I may have to actually leave a little bit early because I just got scheduled with an 8:30 call, but it's a chance to see parents and students, tell them what we're doing on the committee. So I will be there. If anybody else would like to join me, shoot me an email after this meeting or just give me a call.
When is that again?
Tomorrow, tomorrow morning, 7:30 in the morning to 8:30 at Triangle Park.
If I could just add, Dale, there's also a table down in front of the Priory at the same time. So if people would like to go there, that's also available.
Okay, great. I requested Melissa that the EPC be at Triangle Park, but
Okay.
I guess we could be at either one. Thank you, John. Also, after the packet went out, I got a message from Carrie, our communications director at the town, and this is Emergency Preparedness Month. And she was wondering if we would like to submit on each Thursday something from the Emergency Preparedness Committee to go into the packet for the town. We haven't had a real outreach person for a while. And so I'm looking for any volunteers who would like to do this. Please let me know. It doesn't have to be much. A little bit of a paragraph would be great.
And I'd love to assist with that as well. So this is Selena. Good morning, everybody. So whoever decides they want to step up, I've got lots of stuff I can push out for you guys so we have consistent messaging.
Oh, wonderful. I will be in touch, Selena, and maybe someone else from the committee will work with me. We'll get something out, a paragraph or so.
Great. Awesome. Thanks.
Thank you very much. Okay. We're going to move on, and just to let people know, Ray says he has got to leave promptly at 8:30. So after we go through a couple of these things, we're going to move his report on comms up ahead of the other things so that we can get Ray's time before he needs to leave. And since we now have Dave, we won't lose a quorum. So that's fabulous. Next item on the agenda. Oh, and just so you know, it's wonderful we have Lynn now taking minutes. And the reason we don't have approval for last month's minutes is because I did clean my desk, and my notes from the last minutes went out with all the other stuff that was on my desk. And I couldn't find the recording of last month's meeting in time to get the minutes done to reconstruct the minutes. So next month we will have 2 sets of minutes to approve. So I apologize. And thank goodness we now have Lynn, so you don't have to depend on me. Volunteer opportunities, I will leave this on the agenda for one more meeting. If anybody wishes to join the Wildfire Preparedness Committee, please let me know or volunteer for that. Sorry, I skipped number 4. This is to accept the memo to the commissions and committees regarding the town email text policy. I announced this last meeting. Everybody should have received this in their email. I think it's a good policy. We should just simply not text, email, engage in other phone conversations during the course of the meeting. So I would entertain a motion to accept this memo.
So move.
Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Great. Thank you very much. And that is approved.
Do I have to document the names of the people?
No,
Okay, thank you.
not for the action minutes. Sometimes I put in who moved and who seconded, but you just need to say how it passed and what the vote was. Thank you, Lynn. Okay, Ray, why don't you go ahead with your comments?
Okay, will do. Am I on?
You are
Yeah.
on.
Okay, great. So everybody saw the report I added to the documents here. We this week, however, had the opportunity to go up to the tank up at Easter Cross and mount the both the digital and the GMRS repeater antennas on top of the tank, which was always fun to climb up there because of the view and what have you. And on Tuesday night, we had the usual WPV CERT radio check-in on the GMRS, and it worked. It was remarkably better. Kind of surprising, only moving up about 35 feet from grade, but on top of the tank. So we probably eliminated some interference and metal and other things. Anyway, so item G, the I there, that's our G1, we've completed that. We've got a little mechanical work to wrap it up, but it's up and operational. So that's huge, very huge. The second thing on that, we also installed the 5 gigahertz repeater microwave link. And we're going to try tomorrow to actually turn it on, make it work. It'll haul internet traffic up to the tank. The transmitter will be at my place here at 56 Granada. It's about a 6-mile link. And we got all the gear and stuff. It's very exciting. Dale was there. Joe from the WPV guys were there. Vicky brought us some water. It was a good team effort to get that up and running. So all very good. And Dale, there were 2 other things. One was the, I guess it's April, the emergency preparedness. What is it? Are you going to talk about that separately on the agenda?
What are you talking about, Ray? The
supporting the wildfire preparedness fair, April 22nd.
Yes, that's a separate agenda item. But go ahead.
And also the other thing was possibly looking at Starlink as a potential add-on to our communication strategy. So we'll have digital as well as Wi-Fi in our emergency capabilities. So I don't know where you want to put that in there, Mr. Chairman.
That's good. We'll bring that forward. That's on the town report, and I know Jeremy is not here.
Okay.
And I don't think Melvin was here, but I will give people a brief update. I got an email or a update from Melvin on the internet backup for Town Center. And as you all know, they use Comcast at Town Center, and when we lose power, Comcast goes down. Comcast has issues, so they've been working on a internet backup for a while, and the IT consultant the town uses has recommended Viasat, which is a satellite link. There are several providers out there, and I forwarded that memo to Ray as head of the comm subcommittee. So he and Chris and Rob and anyone else who has any experience with satellites are going to take a look at that memo and do a little bit of work here over the next month and see whether they concur or have an alternative view on whether that's the right solution. Any quick comments, Ray?
No, that's exactly right. Rob, by the way, lent me his Starlink to experiment with it. So thank you, Rob. I'll take that out of the box and get it going. It's been kind of busy the last several weeks on all the comm stuff, but otherwise everything's working great. Thrilled with the quality of the signals and the reliability of the gear. Thanks.
Okay, and the only other thing that I'm going to pull forward real quick here is the participation in the Wildfire Preparedness Fair, which is coming up on Saturday, April 22nd. And this is hosted by the Wildfire Preparedness Committee. And if people went last year, it's a good event. A lot of vendors, suppliers, people talking about, home hardening primarily, but some vegetation management and other alternatives. They have asked us to participate again this year. Last year we had, I don't know, there were 3 or 4 of us there during the course of the day to answer questions and interact. And there was a question by Jennifer Hammer, the chair, whether we wanted to roll out the comm trailer at this wildfire day. So that's why we're going to talk about it before Ray has to leave. I'm going to open this up to discussion, questions on this event.
Well, let me just say, I am here and happy to roll it. It's actually stored at Jerry Sheffrin's house now because Station 8, if you don't know, Station 8 is under construction. They began that theoretically 14-month process. So we've put it at Jerry's for the time being. We'll probably store it here eventually while the firehouse is being done. So moving it around will be great. Keeping it active is a good idea. So.
Any other thoughts?
I need some volunteers to help if we do it. I know April's a long time away, but if people think it's a bad idea, we won't do it. But I think it's always good to get it out, test it, find out what broke on it, what needs repair. So.
Well, there's a lot of people that came to the fair this last year. So it's a good way to get more visibility, I think. Am I live?
You're live. Okay, so unless people have other comments, I would entertain a motion to participate in the wildfire preparedness fair.
Yep.
And roll the comm trailer if we can get volunteers to do it.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, it's unanimous.
All right.
Very good.
Great.
Okay, and I think that's it for your stuff, Ray.
Thank you very much, everyone. Sorry I had to go. One of my companies needed a board call this morning. So.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, Ray. Okay, next we're going to move. Is that Jerry Sheffrin? Are you online?
Yes, I am.
Oh, wonderful, Jerry. Thank you. You missed all the important stuff, but I'm glad you're here.
No, I was here for all of it.
Oh, you were? Okay, great. Lynn, please record that Jerry was here. Okay, on to the town picnic. This is coming up this month on the 17th. The Zots to Tots apparently starts between 9 and 10. The actual picnic starts at about 11. We have already confirmed with Patty Dews of the Parks and Rec that we will be there. I believe she's setting us up to be in the same vicinity as Wildfire Preparedness Committee, WPV CERT, WPV Ready, and the fire department. So we'll all be together, which is great. So I would just like to talk a little bit about how many folks can be there for part or all of the day. How many folks can be there? I see it's Chris, Dave, good, Larry.
Add Lynn.
Lynn, okay, I will be there. Bud, can you make it?
I'm on a walker now, so I'm not sure.
Okay.
I might make it. I don't know yet.
Okay. Well, that's good. We've got 4 or 5 of us, so we will be there. This is a not a heavy lift day. We're not rolling out the comm trailer. We will have some easels up. I'll coordinate that with various people. We generally hand out our magnets. and so on, talk to people about what's going on. It's a good event for Vic to be there and talk about community engagement and getting the neighborhoods organized. So it's always a great event for us. And one of the things I wanted to get a sense of the committee, I was at an event a while ago, and everybody who was a docent at Jasper Ridge had these nice little badges that gave their name and docents and so on. I said, with the number of events we're getting, I think we could get some little badges for the EPC. And I took a quick look. I think we can get them for under $10 each. If people think this is a good idea, I might even be able to get them ahead of the town picnic. Anybody think this is a good idea, bad idea? It probably costs about $100.
I think it's a
Rob?
good idea.
Good idea.
Great. Okay. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Next question. Colors. I was just thinking, it looked to me like red, green, or yellow were probably the best. Do people have a preference for EPC badge color? I think CERT colors, Selena, are they green?
Yeah, they're green and yellow usually.
Okay. So I have no particular predilection. So I will accept comments from somebody who is design inclined.
But it's a bright green. I mean, if you guys want green, just do kind of a darker shade,
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's fine.
Okay.
I'd
How
save
about-
the red for the wildfire committee.
Okay. So wildfire can have red. So what, we should do yellow, Jerry?
No, I think green is fine, green or yellow, but not red.
Well, maybe
No.
even blue. I don't know why, but blue seems to be.
Oh, that's a good color. Yeah.
Dave
that
Howell
emerges-
has his hand up.
Dave?
Yeah, I was just gonna say that we still have our little name tags for the EPC, I think. I have mine, I know.
You from when?
Whenever, I don't know. It's on my desk. It's and the other thing, the question I had was, when are the meetings for that wildfire?
The Wildfire Preparedness Committee?
Yeah.
The Wildfire Preparedness Committee, I think, meets next Tuesday. I will send you a link to when their meetings
Second
are.
Tuesday of the month.
Second Tuesday of the month. Thank you.
We start at 4 p.m.
Okay. How about blue for new badges? Because I don't think certainly don't have any badges left. I think I have a DSW tag, but I don't have a badge. But that also goes back a ways. Everybody okay with blue?
Blue sounds good. I don't have a badge either.
Yeah, okay. So we'll get some name tags made up. Okay. On to item number 7, the evacuation study recommendations. And I don't see Vic this morning. So Rob, would you like to talk about this briefly? This was in the back of the packet.
Yeah, Vic was the person that was really heading this up. He was approached by, I think, Jeremy, and had been asked if the EPC could go over the proposed ongoing activities for an evacuation plan that was in the back of the study that was approved by the town. And he was asked if we could go over those future activities and prioritize them in a priority, maybe high, mediums, and low, whether we feel the town should proceed with those, and that we would get back to the town council a recommendation on what activities should continue being done in priority for a full evacuation plan. If you look at those in the back of your plan, You can see that Vic made a first pass of which ones he thought were high, medium, and low. Obviously, some of these need to be rewritten. They were included in that initial traffic evacuation plan just as collections from residents and other committee members for what needs to continue on being done to pull together a complete evacuation plan. So it's not to do the work of these activities. It's simply to go through this list, prioritize it, maybe add some more, get public input through the committee, and then deliver that to the town. It's too bad Vic isn't here, because Vic is the person that really had a strong desire to do this. Did I capture that correctly, Dale? You're muted.
Yep, I just unmuted. Yeah, I believe so. This is just, the first question is these, well, Rob is absolutely correct. This is in the back of the initial traffic evacuation plan that was presented to the town council. This committee reviewed it last month. And these are the next actions. And they're just, you know, it's just a list. And so the request is to prioritize them into high, medium, and low. Some of us think maybe they're all high, but that doesn't help trying to figure out which ones we do a little bit before the others. And so Vic would like us to, you know, number one, do we actually want to undertake this? And if we do, my suggestion is we give it to the evac committee, subcommittee, have that committee come up with some recommendations, and then bring it back to this committee next month with recommendations for high, medium, and low, and then discuss it and pass it on. So do you have any comments, discussions from anybody on the committee? No comments, thoughts? Is this something we want to do, something we not want to do?
Dale, did you say we have a subcommittee that's worried about this?
We have an evacuation subcommittee. And so since this came out of the traffic study, we could just have them do it. If you would prefer, you know, we could create another subcommittee to look at this alone. But
Yeah, that
you know,
makes sense to me.
to avoid having too many ad hoc subcommittees, we could just give it to the evac subcommittee and have a meeting of everybody interested to hash out which is high, medium, and low, and then present it to the committee.
That makes the most sense to me.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't see another committee.
Yeah, you know, we have quite a few active subcommittees, and I think they work well. And as long as things come up that we can put in those subcommittees, I would prefer to do that rather than, you know, create an ad hoc committee just to do a single item.
Mm-hmm. Who is on that committee?
Right now it's Rob, and I think Vic is going to get involved now since this was his idea. But, you know, Rob could call a meeting, and anybody up to a maximum of 6 members of this committee could attend and talk through this. Yeah, if we go to 6, then it becomes a meeting with a quorum. It would have to be noticed, and minutes.
Up to 5 then. Actually, up to 5 members.
Yeah, 5. We hit 6, and it does become a quorum. So you're correct, Vic. I mean, but
I might add, this is separate slightly. The Sequoias is going to have a evacuation drill on the 13th of September.
Oh, good.
We don't know exactly how detailed it's going to be, but just got the announcement.
Okay, so if we don't have any further discussion, I will open it up to public comment. I saw Rita's hand is up. Hi, Rita.
Hi there. Thank you for taking my question. You know, with the expertise of this group, I mean, I know I submitted some thoughts on the evacuation plan, the one that the town was asking by that date, and haven't heard anything back. And I'm not sure who in the town or what consultants would be reviewing all of those comments from people, but are you also being asked to review those comments and integrate them in the possible plan. Not sure who's doing that. And, there seems to be a whole lot more expertise on this committee than what we're probably paying for with consultants. So I hope, I'm not sure if that's part of your scope, but I just hope that it is.
Thank you, Rita. This committee has not received any comments that I'm aware of. Nobody has sent any to me. I will inquire and get those comments and see what the town wishes us to do with those comments, if anything. But I haven't seen them, we haven't been asked to review those. And this is the first time I was aware that they were collecting comments. So thank you, Rita.
Vic is on now.
Oh, Vic. Are you there, Vic?
He's still connecting to audio.
Okay.
I think he's stuck there.
He's stuck. Okay, so I would entertain a motion that we do prioritize this. We refer it to the evacuation subcommittee, and Rob would call a meeting and invite those folks that would like to. Oh, I'm sorry, Christy, did you raise your hand before I moved on? Go ahead, Christy.
Yes, thank you. I'm noticing that one of your lists here is to coordinate with Los Altos Hills and Woodside, which would take some doing, and also to coordinate closer to 280 with the Ladera folks. So to me, the coordination of those around us is of priority as well. And I was wondering if you're in contact with the board of Ladera, and if not, I would think that's a high priority to discuss any road changes and what their ideas may be, since they're coming down the hill, we're coming down Alpine, and how to best coordinate that. I think another priority would be this is an initial traffic study, but it's by no means a full circulation study of the whole Portola Valley. So how can this evacuation priority be to continue and finish the full evacuation or circulation study if we only did certain locations? And I think we need to be looking at the arterials of other major roads in this town. And I think the subcommittee is aware of that. And I just wanted to emphasize that. Thank you.
Thank you, Christy. Yeah, we've been fairly clear on this evacuation, traffic study that, we did not have the arterials, and we were limited somewhat in scope to trying to get something out. So yes, that's all on the plate, and if it's not in this group of add-ons, we can certainly add it. So if there are no other comments, I will entertain the motion to refer this to the evacuation subcommittee and then report back to the next meeting.
Moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Great. And if people would like to be involved in that discussion, just please get in touch with Rob. I'm sure he'll set it up here before the next meeting, and come back to us with a recommendation. So thank you, Rob, for taking. Yes.
Dale, it's Vic Schachter. I had real trouble getting in, but I finally got in on my phone. Just want to let you know I'm on the line.
Oh, great, Vic. Well, did you hear any of the discussion?
No, I didn't hear any of the discussion. Unfortunately, all the information on the agenda item didn't let me into the call, and I couldn't get it on my computer because I'm not home.
Oh,
so,
okay.
I'm just joining.
Okay, well, we have agreed that we are going to tackle this prioritization, and it'll be in the VAC subcommittee, and Rob will call a meeting, and anybody on the committee up to a maximum of 5 can and hash out priorities and report back next meeting.
Okay, great. So the follow-up is then with Rob, right? Is
Yes,
that what I'm
yep.
hearing?
Correct.
Great. Okay, good. Okay, so they decided to go forward with it. Rob's going to coordinate it, and we'll provide input to Rob.
Yes, and he'll call a meeting so everybody can get together and do the best at prioritizing things.
Great. Thank you very much. I'm sorry to interrupt, but as I say, I had trouble getting in.
Not a problem. Thank you for making it in, Vic. Thank you for your persistence.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, on to Selena. I know you're there.
Yeah. So I'm representing myself and Rob today since we don't have our fire chief on board. And I apologize, I don't have my camera on, and I'm working from home, and my Wi-Fi has been pretty sketchy. So just want to use less of the bandwidth. So the major things that I just wanted to touch on, one being in that subcommittee report, I did kind of have, I would just say it was a bummer of a information regarding the SMC alert, and whether the Department of Emergency Management, how they're moving forward or not. We have since then gained some better information that the Department of Emergency Management will be moving forward with the new rave hosting platform, and hopefully it'll happen in November. So that's a good thing from what I had to say in that report. So I wanted to mention that. Aside from that, the things I really wanted to add was kind of some of, we had the after action incident report or meeting for the Edgewood fire. And so there are just a couple things there I thought I'd share with you guys. So it turns out that the dispatch center successfully took 680 calls in 4 hours. They were able to process these calls because they happened to have another training. They happened to have training of their dispatchers that day. So they had a couple extra people in office, which is great in the center. So that was really good. We did determine too that in the future, we're not going to be splitting the zones in Zone Haven. This was spoken at the chief level in the county and agreed upon. And then in this meeting, they decided, just due to confusion on that day, people just weren't sure, we haven't really pushed out great information about splitting zones as well. The communication to the sheriff's department wasn't really clear. So, there was residents coming up to them, and the sheriffs had not had necessarily all the correct information with the splitting of the zones. So we're not going to be splitting Zone Haven zones in the future. So just eliminating that possible mess up. Also too, it turns out the CHP had a late response because for some reason they just weren't notified in time, but it worked out okay because the sheriff's department had an outstanding a number of people that arrived. I think it was 80 something vehicles available, 84, something like that. So we were, we often get asked questions or we have concerns that we try to field about, there really is maybe only 1 or 2 sheriffs in, our entire jurisdiction. How can you guys possibly get more? Well, this incident really showed us that, if we do need the SO out, they will come in full force. So that's really, really great to hear. Also too, this was a CAL FIRE jurisdiction, right? So it was CAL FIRE incident, they ran it. So when we were sending out SMC alerts, we really we had to go with what CAL FIRE was pushing out. They were the lead. But with that, we, had heard from many residents, why aren't we hearing anything about the fire? Why aren't we getting information? And our fire district has always said pushing out information through SMC alert is for, it's for emergency notifications, right? But this really brought to our attention that, there is a need to provide just information to our community if there is an incident that could be directly impacting our community, whether, like this one was happening in Woodside area, Emerald Hills area, but people in Portola Valley or up on top of the hill, we're asking what's going on. Can we get information? So in the future, we're going to be a little bit more proactive with pushing information out. And whether or not it's our jurisdiction, we feel it is necessary for us to inform the community about what is going on, whether or not, it's a direct threat to them. As well, the other thing I did want to mention is that, with power outages going on over there, some people did not receive the reverse 911 call for evacuation, which, communication is always the thing that goes down first. It's always the most difficult part of disasters. We all know that. But what it really does stress to me is, more neighbor to neighbor awareness, being proactive. So you see smoke, you smell smoke, you're uncomfortable, get out, right? Check on your neighbor, make sure your neighbor gets out. And Barrett Gulch will be doing an evacuation drill here in September. And they had requested us to push out an SMC alert as a test for them. And I said, just due to the fact of how communication is like the leading issue, I really wanted them to practice other forms of communicating, whether it's their, phone tree, GMRS, megaphone, whatever they use, honking horns, so that they're not dependent on an SMC alert when it may not necessarily be available. There are ways, again, to bring backup power to some of the cell towers and whatnot, but we really want to stress that there needs to be options. And I think that's really all I have.
Okay, thank you, Selena. I had a question there on the power outages. I know here in Portola Valley, we've done a pretty good job of getting backup power for the cell towers that cover Portola Valley. But do you know if it was an issue of not having backup power for the cell towers over in Emerald Hills, or any idea what the basis for the problem was?
Well, I think that PG&E had lost some of their what am I thinking of? I don't they're transformers, right? So
yeah.
Also too, I really want to stress to you guys that there has not been a cause determined at this point. So CAL FIRE will be pushing out the cause of the fire. Once they figure it out, they will be. But at this time, there's still no cause that's been determined for the fire.
Okay. Interesting. Questions from committee before I see a couple of hands raised.
Yeah, it's Vic, and I'm sorry I can't raise a hand on the phone that I'm on. Selena, and maybe you covered this and I missed it. So what's the status of the testing that was going on with the SMC alert? Have they kind of figured out what the problem was last time, or is that still in process?
Well, San Mateo County is kind of leading the way in this whole statewide migration to rave. And,
right.
There have been a lot of kinks, should we say, and it was just causing a lot of concern to transfer, over. So, we were sticking with Everbridge, but the contract with Everbridge is going to be up here very soon. So After some further discussion, the Department of Emergency Management has decided that they will be pushing forward with the RAVE platform. And when I say the county's kind of leading it, is other jurisdictions, other counties are kind of looking to us to go, okay, let's see how they figure out what possibly, how they're dealing with this before we move forward. So
So what is functional now as best as you know? Is it the current SMC alert
yes,
system?
current,
is functional?
yes. Yep. We're still using
Okay.
our current if you're receiving alerts, that's what we're still using. There's been no full migration over yet. There's just a lot of data that needs to be migrated over, and it's not going to be very fluid. It's going to require residents to be proactive and do their part to make sure that their accounts are transferred as well. So it's going to be a big it's gonna be a lot of work. But
I get that, and I'm
Yeah.
just trying to confirm, which I think you've just done,
Yep.
that the existing SMC alert system is functional and operating in the event of our
Yes.
needs right now.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Yes. No problem.
Yeah, go ahead, Rob.
Selena, correct me if I'm wrong here. Both Selena and I have talked a lot to Jeff Norris, who's the person responsible for sending out the alerts and making sure that the system works. I've talked several times to Jeff after the last test of the new system RAVE, which failed. And Jeff has identified several issues with the user interface and several other issues that have gone back to RAVE. Both Selena and I are working very hard with Jeff to make sure that there is another test of the RAVE system before it's ever cut over. So we're on Everbridge now, and before we go on to RAVE, there will be a test for Portola Valley. Correct, Selena?
Yes, that's what we are planning for sure. We would like to do another test.
No.
Great. Any idea when that's going to be? Because clearly, I think we want to work on getting the word out pretty broadly when that test is going to happen.
Well, go ahead, Rob. Okay, so ideally, I'm just gonna be honest, we wanted it for September.
Right.
But more than likely it's probably gonna be October. Hopefully early October to do it.
We were hoping October 1st, right?
Yeah. So we're hoping October 1st.
Okay, that's very good. Let's just work on making sure that is broadly messaged. I'm sure you're working on that, Selena.
Yes, I think they're, because this migration to RAVE is going to require a huge media campaign. The DEM Jeff Norris is a little apprehensive about, just us pushing out information without making sure it's been standardized or, been looked at by his PIO. But like Rob said, we talk to Jeff very often, and Jeff is actually very excited that, this community is willing to test the system, because a lot of other areas have been very apprehensive to test the new system. And I think it's important to test it. And if we have community members, that want to participate, obviously, I don't see why it's a bad thing, because, what we've learned from the last test, it didn't turn out how we wanted, but we learned a lot from it. So I just want to commend Portola Valley for really wanting to help move this forward.
Okay, thank you. I see a couple of hands up. I see Rita.
Yeah, thank you. My question is for Selena, or whoever else could answer this question. About 9:30 last night, when it was finally cooling down some, I opened up a lot of windows in the house and I smelled smoke. And I searched online, I searched for air quality. It was in the 50s in Portola Valley. I called a number for Woodside Fire. I got a voicemail. I then looked for another number. I dialed that one. I got another voicemail. I left a message because it said, we're busy and someone's going to call you back, you know, was the response I got. And it is now 8:47. No one ever called me back. You know, I searched the internet to see if it was the fires from Oregon or the fires from LA, and that's what the smoke was, or if something was happening in the area. And I spent a lot of time trying to figure it out and with my fingers crossed. But there's got to be a better way to get that information other than calling 911. And if this group or Selena can answer that question, I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, I appreciate that comment, Rita, and I apologize that somebody didn't get back to you. I am not aware of anything that happened last night, but do not be apprehensive about calling 911. Also, too, this is another time for me to stress having communication with your neighbors directly, because you honestly just never know. Maybe you have, residents with some older adults who it just got a little chilly for them and they decided to start a fire in their fireplace. Or maybe it was some residents who wanted a barbecue, right? It's just, you just don't know. And if you've looked at all the, common places, firedispatch.com, Pulse Point, we also have, what's the other one I'm looking for? Smoke. We have Watch Duty is another great app. If you've looked on everything and there's nothing on there, and you're still very concerned, strong smell of smoke, call 911. Absolutely. We always say, please don't stop by the fire station if you have an emergency. We cannot guarantee we're going to be there. We may be out on another call. We may be training. So yeah, that's all I can provide for you at this time. I haven't heard of anything from last night.
Okay, Dave, I see your hand up.
I have a comment on that. Always check the forum right away too, because sometimes things are posted there. But I was curious, I haven't been home for a while and I'm just wondering, was Comcast down for that last power outage?
I'm not sure. It was complete power outage, so I don't know how that would affect the Comcast. I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just curious.
Our Comcast was up here on Golden Oak for the power outage yesterday.
Cool.
Okay, MJ, I see your hand up.
Yeah, thanks, Dale. I have a stupid question for Selena. So Selena, I didn't think of this, but if we have these WPV ready radios, would we be able to capture or listen to any of the, fire department stuff that's going on?
Are you talking about the CERT assigned radio or the?
Yeah, the CERT handheld.
No,
yeah.
They run on different channels. So you could listen if you had the right equipment, listen in on the radio traffic, but it's not going to be on those handhelds for CERT.
Oh, okay. And then one other thing, this is for Rita. I've been noticing, I live near, Cervantes and Westridge, and I've been noticing the last couple of weeks that someone's setting a fire, I guess, around 9:30 or 10 at night. There were like 3 or 4 nights where I went through the same thing you did. I thought there was a fire, but I didn't call anyone. I just checked the air quality apps and, waited to see if it would get worse. But I was surprised people are burning fires during fire season. It's kind of alarming.
Yeah, I just, I'm going to put a plug in for Pulse Point. I keep Pulse Point on my phone and I have it set to send me an alarm for every fire alert that the fire departments go to in San Mateo and Santa Clara counties. So that tells me if there's anything nearby that the fire department's aware of. So anyway, Christy.
Yes, thank you. I wanted to let you know that at the bottom of Golden Oak, the tree has been on the lines for 2 weeks. And I've been in contact with Howard on that. And I finally got frustrated and went over and talked to my neighbor thinking, okay, it's been 3 days. Now it's been 5 days. Okay, we're at 10 days now. I'm gonna knock on her door because the fire department was here and the police, and we still had the tree on the wires, which was very concerning. It wasn't the high wires, it was the low wires, and it was Xfinity and possibly another one. So after I did that, I emailed, constant email with Howard, and he said he was working with AT&T and Comcast. Well, my Xfinity guy said that's his wire because they were over fixing our wires because our power went down. So when they let the tree go on the wire, it bounced and must have caused the power outage yesterday. So there must be something on that. If it, you know, I would think if it's an earthquake, it's gonna shut off. So our whole area was shut off again. It had been shut off 2 days prior. But I wanted to let you know what, or question, if a company is taking off a tree, what should they do prior to taking off the tree so we don't lose power? Because a lot of people are working at home and could have lost a lot of data. So, and we were out, but luckily they got it up in a, you know, by 10, you know, within a couple hours, not 2 o'clock. So how do we streamline that process so we don't lose power? And I guess, I don't know if this is the right committee, but I wanted to report back that it was across the street from my driveway. And I was trying to work with different people on it, and it took 2 weeks. And that's not something we want if a fire was to go through. So thought I'd report that back. I'm also real concerned about this new system and why we're switching to a new system. Can somebody give me some feedback on why we're switching? And I'm not hearing a great deal of confidence, and it's coming out late and we're not sure it's gonna work.
Yeah, Christy, so that first issue that you were dealing with, that's terrible. But unfortunately, when you start bringing in companies like Comcast, Xfinity, you know, AT&T, whatever the lines are, PG&E, they're extremely, 2 weeks, I know this sounds terrible, but I'm like, oh, 2 weeks, that's not too bad considering how long it takes to get some of them on board. So I'm sorry that happened, and it is absolutely scary. So I want to acknowledge that. So in terms of the SMC alert, the state was in a contract with Everbridge, which is what we're currently using. Now, what has happened is the Everbridge was going to start charging an exorbitant amount more money for less services. And the state said, no, that's not what we want. So they decided to go with a government contract, and they pushed it out. And ultimately they decided on rave. And the issue just has been is Everbridge has not been particularly, I guess, helpful in terms of assisting with the migration of their data. And it's just brought on a lot of issues. But Everbridge is still working. It's completely working. It's just trying to figure out how to migrate all the data without making the residents who are already signed up, because this is an opt-in system, right? How we can get them to just, how we can just make it as fluid and easy as possible. And there have been kinks along the way, as it is with anything that you're trying that's new. but the Department of Emergency Management is confident that Rave is the program, the hosting platform they want to move forward with. It's just been a matter of how do we do this so it has the least amount of impact on our residents? Because ultimately, what they were saying is that there will be a notification coming out to people who are already signed up for SMC Alert through Everbridge that they will need to complete their account information with this new program. So, and what happens there is, you know, this link that will be sent to everybody who signed up will only potentially last 48 hours or something, right? And they have to complete it. And those people that don't do that, they're not fully migrated. The information will still be there. The accounts will still be there. So you're not going to all of a sudden just be completely, you know, gone. It's just, we need you to go back in there, confirm your information, and create a new password. And so yeah, there are just some certain steps there. Chris, I see your hand up. Go ahead.
No, I didn't mean to interrupt you, Selena, but I need to let the group know that I have a hard stop. I need to drop off. I'm sorry.
Oh, good. Okay.
Okay.
Bye. Yeah. So Christy, we do have confidence in this new program. It is what they're going to provide is exactly what we need. The entire state of California will be using it. It's just a matter of working out the kinks along the way. And we're not going to go without an emergency notification system. It's just, how do we make the transition smooth? Jennifer?
Okay. Thank you. I believe, Lynn, are you still on?
Yes, I am. Yes, I am.
Okay, good. I was
Jennifer,
worried.
Jennifer has her hand up.
Yep, I see that. I was just worried we're going to lose a quorum with Chris dropping off, but we're okay. Jennifer, go ahead.
Yeah, I have a quick question for Selena. So this is concerning Rita's question about smoke. So whenever I smell smoke, I go to watch duty. I like Dale's app too, but that's got things other than wildfire. So my question is, how quickly are these apps updated? Where are they getting their data? And can we rely on something like a watch duty that they are going to know about a fire the minute the fire district knows?
As soon as a call comes in and apparatus is dispatched, it's going to pop up on those apps. My only concern with Pulse Point, and this, you know, is not really impactful, I think, on the user end, is once units are assigned to an incident, they leave them there. So whether or not, so until the incident is done. And that's not always how it works, right? So you can have a bunch of incidents assigned, if it's a 2-alarm, 1-alarm, and then all of a sudden they downgrade, right? To, if they're at a 2-alarm, they downgrade to a 1-alarm. It's not going to reflect that on Pulse Point, but it is still providing data on it.
But watch duty seems to be a very simple app for users to use. So are we
I love
safe?
watch duty.
Okay, so that's a safe thing to recommend.
Yeah,
as far as
absolutely.
Wildfire, if you smell smoke, you can go to watch duty. Okay.
Yes, there's also an app called Smoke Point, which has cameras all throughout the district that you can actually view in live time. So I would definitely recommend everybody checking out Smoke Point.
Is that your favorite? Is that what we should?
No,
have?
it's not a call, like it's not like watch duty where it shows you incidents. It just is cameras, so you can view throughout the district where the smoke may be coming from.
Okay, yeah. Thanks.
Okay, Jerry, I see your hand up.
Yeah, I just wanted to point out, this is a very important discussion, but it's not on the agenda. And if we're going to have these kind of discussions, I think they should be agendized, because there may be other people who would then want to join the meeting to hear about whatever that discussion is. So I think we need to be careful about having discussions that are not on the agenda. Again, I think it's a valid and important one, but it should be agendized at a meeting to do it.
Good point, Jerry. This, however, was listed in Selena's report talking about the SMC alert, and falls broadly under the fire department and WPV ready, WPV CERT reports. We generally discuss these kinds of things, but I get your point. If we're going to have a further discussion, we probably should have that discussion maybe at the next meeting, because that looks like to be about the time we're going to be engaging in some sort of transition on our SMC alert. Okay, and I'm going to apologize to Jerry because we skipped over his item, so we're going to come back to it and see if we can address it real quickly before we have to adjourn. Jerry, you want to talk about your evacuation zone identification awareness project?
Well, for one, I haven't been in Portola Valley for almost 3 weeks, so I have accomplished almost nothing. The only thing I will comment on is I had a couple of email exchanges with Carrie at
Carrie.
town, and she was not very enthusiastic about the idea of doing this. So I just want to be confident the committee wants to do it. Obviously, it's not her decision whether we do or we don't. If we're going to proceed and go through the process of getting these printed and distributed, I just want to make sure that I can say that the committee has strong feelings about moving in this direction.
Okay, comments from the committee on Jerry's question?
Yeah, this is Vic. I urge that we continue this effort. I think it's really important, particularly in light of my experience. The number of people that do not really yet understand their zone identification is, to me, very alarming. And I think this effort is very much worthwhile.
Okay, Rob?
It's an important activity. I agree completely with what Vic said. I think we should proceed.
And why was she not enthusiastic? That's Lynn.
I think the answer would be that she felt that there had been lots of communication out to the town already about looking up your zone, and that this would be redundant and unnecessary. And again, I think we've come to a conclusion that that's not the case, that there are large numbers of people who have in fact not taken the step to actually identify their zone.
Or they just have not had access to, internet, or they're not on the PV forum. We have a huge demographic of older adults who just are not particularly tech savvy. And I think pushing something out directly to them would be really important. It could give us an opportunity to share on the new notification system.
Be careful about
And I think we
talking
need
about older people.
I think we need to be clear also, it's not a criticism of what their good faith efforts have been, but rather we just need to recognize it's still not getting through to people, and this outreach effort is definitely worthwhile.
Well, I will be back home within the next 10 or 11 days, and I will prioritize moving this project along.
Okay, great. Thank you very much, Jerry. I see Jennifer, your hand is up.
Hi, Dale. Hey, couple of thoughts. We're going to do a mailer. I have that in my budget for the wildfire fair, and I already talked about with Dale adding your date for your emergency communication day that you have a few months later. But something we could add on that mailer is something about zones, checking your zones. And when you're thinking about this project, I know you talked about magnets. A lot of people no longer have a place to put a magnet, but I know I have a go bag and we're pushing go bags. Have you considered something that could either be a tag, like a luggage tag, that you could put around your go bag so you don't lose that zone information? And maybe we could combine forces, and when we do our mailer, we also do an information piece about go bags and zones and I mean, mailing a luggage tag would be expensive, but just a thought of some way combining that go bag zones, because when you have that emergency, you know where your go bag is. And that's where I have my evacuation information is attached to my go bag. So let us know if you want to do something with our mailer. Thanks.
Okay. Thanks, Jennifer. We will be in touch. Jerry, that's something to consider. Way back in the beginning, we did do some of the a little key tag with the AM radio logo on it. So it may not be a bad idea to consider, you know, a zone number along with the AM radio logo to go into to attach to your go bag. So that's not a bad idea. So something to think about as you move forward, and we can bring it back to committee.
I agree. I agree. It's a good idea and should be considered. Thank you, Jennifer.
Okay, with that, we are over our time limit. I know that Jeremy is not here we talked about some of the issues on the town report, subcommittee reports. Is there anything else on the subcommittee reports that is important that we bring up?
The only thing I can say is that the evacuation study has been accepted by the town and that we're continuing with the school evacuation plan. Adam Lint at the schools is helping tremendously on this.
Okay. Thank you, Rob. And so unless there's anything else, I look forward to seeing most of you at the town picnic on the 17th, if not before. And I will accept a motion to adjourn.
Move.
Move.
Second.
All approved.
Aye.
Aye.
Great. Thank you all very much.
Bye,
Thank you.
guys. I'll miss you at
Bye-bye.
the
All right.
picnic.
Yeah, we'll miss you too, Selena.
Okay.
Boo.